Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network. Back to our old haunts here at the Hack after last week's special edition on the road at Washington Elementary. We'll kick things off with Valley City Highlander volleyball coach Cynthia Clabo joining us. Morning, Coach.
Morning.
Busy last few days for you guys. You had that tournament in Fargo and looked like you were okay in pool play, but then when you got into bracket play, things didn't go quite as well.
Yeah, last week was busy. What did we have Tuesday? We had a game Tuesday, Thursday, and then tournament Friday, Saturday. So by the time Saturday came, they were a little gassed, both mentally and physically.
Right.
So I tried to give them the big pump-up speech, like, your mind is stronger than your body, right? But there's only so much you can do.
How did it feel getting a chance to be back in playing the Bismarcks and the Mandans and the Red Rivers and playing those AA schools?
Great. Truly, we hung with all of them. Mm-hmm. If we would have played our best or even our good or great, we would have probably taken some more from people.
Right.
We lost to Bismarck High and then beat Mandan and Red River. So it's kind of nice to beat Red River finally. Mm-hmm. They're down quite a bit though. They've lost like all their middles. So okay. Yeah, they're down in the EDC a little bit this year.
And Minot North got a chance to see the Sentinels, I believe is their yep. team name, and Oak Grove. They were in your bracket as well. But and it said 2-1 with Oak Grove, but it wasn't a 2-0. I think
2-0. Yeah,
it was
the
2-0.
last one was close.
Yeah.
But again, we did not play our best. Our serve receive was below par. Mm-hmm. I think we were just, and if you don't get a serve receive, it's pretty hard to get anything after that.
Right.
And they all knew that. We worked hard coming back in the next day, and I thought they serve received really well against Wahpeton. So yeah, they're a really good team that's resilient and bounced back really well. So
got back into it with Wahpeton and got a 3-0 win. So just getting that win, getting back into it there. Now that you're getting there down to the end of the season now. I mean, we only have 4 matches roughly left in the regular season. But how did you feel overall they performed against the Huskies here on Tuesday?
First set we struggled a little bit. Our serving, I think we missed 4 serves, I think. And Wahpeton has improved a ton this year, so it was kind of fun to see that they've done that. And then we finally played our real selves
right.
on the second and third set. So yeah, they did really well. They shared the ball a lot. It was just fun.
And you get a Dakota Potratz back, and it a couple of times looked like she was a little off, but once she got going, she had 4 or 5 kills there, and looked. Kind of get her back in the mix now.
Right. We also threw her in the middle. Nora wasn't feeling the best, so we kind of threw her in the middle where she's not super comfortable, but she has taken reps there quite a bit for us. Just as a lefty hitting a middle, nobody's ready for a lefty in a middle. You can tell, though, when she's on the right side, that's her sweet spot where she really likes to be. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun to have lots of players that can play all different places, and it doesn't matter where you put them, they'll be okay.
Yeah. Yep. And one thing I've noticed with the last couple of matches, because you've been playing well, you've gotten some leads, you're getting Lainey Bacalars getting a chance to get in, Tess Anderson getting a chance to get in, LSA there. You're getting some of those players that don't get a lot of PT night on game night, but they're getting a chance to get on the floor and to see what they can do in a game situation.
Yes, absolutely. It was fun to get them in. I wish I could get them in more, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's that score. Let's try to go, put them in. Yeah, they do a really good job. I mean, they play full-time in JV, so they get quite a bit of time, but not varsity reps, and it's different.
Yeah.
Right? It's even like you tell them they're going in, and a couple are like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, you got it, right? So, no, they do a good job.
Back on the road next week with a couple of matches before coming home to wrap things up. Northern Cass, who beat Kindred here not too long ago. So you got Northern Cass on the road, and then Fargo Oak Grove on the road here. Your thoughts on getting into these next couple of matches as you get ready for that stretch run, and what this team is needing to do to maybe get that top seed, if that. I'm sure you're not even worrying about that right now.
Well, you always kind of do, right?
Yeah,
it's always in the back of your mind. Everybody's like, oh, this team beat that team, and this team beat that team, and it's so fun because everybody is. It could be anybody's match. Hopefully it's always ours. But, you try to figure out, okay, which are their hitters that we need to kind of isolate and try to not get them the ball. Do we run a 6-2 against Oak Grove with big hitters? I don't know. We've been doing great. So there might be some changes here and there throughout the season. Not much left. But yeah, and then we also have that Friday, that Dig Pink night as well. So, yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep. And that's Mayport CG.
Yes.
And they're a very good, good. I think top 5 or at least receiving votes in the poll. So that's a good one here. And that'll be back here at home.
Yes. And I tried to have them switch it to today so we could have 2 matches this week, 2 matches next. But they don't have school and they had stuff going on. So it would have been nice to separate or spread out the love a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
spread the love. Share
Yeah,
the love.
exactly.
Final question: as you look to these last couple of weeks of the regular season, I'm sure you could go down a laundry list of things you want to improve on. But is there one in particular that you really like to see this team hone a little bit and get a little bit sharper as they head into the final run? Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we need serves, right? Serves
Yeah,
are 100%.
yeah.
And usually they're a great serving team. It's just every once in a while, and then we have to have a remember, right? Serve receive is huge. It's very important. When we're on, we're great, right? So that mental aspect of knowing, I got this, I have this ball. We actually, was it last Monday? We kind of had a fun practice. I always try to throw something fun in there, and we put sheets on the net so they can't see the other side. So they're serving, and it's hard, right? Because they only have from the half court, basically, so they have to be really quick. When you take the sheets off, they're like, wow, there's a lot of time. I'm like, yes, you have a lot of time to see that ball. So that helped, I think, quite a bit for them to realize, hey, I need to watch the ball all the way from their hand to me, and it gives them quite a bit more time. And then just being aggressive, like truly just swing, like find those spots. I know we've been blocked quite a bit, so working on just hitting around the block, finding those spots, and that's defense talking to our hitters as well, right? So, like everything, getting our sets on where they need to be, and yeah.
A little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
A little bit of all of it. All right. Well, again, coming up here off until next Tuesday, on the road against Northern Cass on Tuesday, and then Oak Grove Thursday, then back home here Friday against Mayport CG. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and look forward to next week.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. Coach Cynthia Claybo joining us from Highlander Volleyball. Back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hackett Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, talking Valley City Highlander cross country. Coach Jessica Gregerson joining us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
The East Region, Class B East Region up in Cooperstown. Looked like a pretty good showing. I think the on the boys' side, about a half a dozen PRs on the boys' side. So let's start with the girls. How do you feel things went there on the girls' side?
They did really, really well. They placed 6th as a team out of 28 teams. So we were very happy about that. Cadence made all region. She placed 20th. So top 20 get all region. So that was also very exciting. We also had some really surprising showings from our junior high runners. That was their first 5K. So at the region meet, they don't run anything else besides the 5K. So we said, well, you can run, but you're going to run a 5K. And they really, really did well. So that's very exciting looking ahead to next year. I think it kind of lit a fire underneath them, showing what the potential they have.
And with Cadence, she had been battling bug and injury and stuff. And so it was good to probably see her getting closer to what you expected this year.
Yes. Yep. So good. She felt really good about it. We've been working on, don't overthink it, just run and give it your all. And she really did. She did a really nice job.
One thing about cross country, don't think too much.
Right. Yeah. Just go run.
Just run. Just run. On the boys' side, I think Jack Sorby again led the way. I think he was top 10.
Yes. Yeah. He got 10th.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Elijah was 14th, which was really impressive as well. He was pretty close up there too, Jack, which was really awesome to see.
And 4th out of 30 teams for the boys, I think.
Yep, they got 4th out of 30. Yep, we had a big goal of top 3.
Okay.
We knew it was a big goal,
right,
but they were going to shoot for it. And then rugby kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, figures, the Panthers, thanks a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Thanks a lot, rugby.
They ran phenomenal, so give them credit. But our boys did a really, really nice job.
And the younger runners, too, a lot of them that had already run
Yep.
that and had been run those distance before. But you got, like I said, there was about 5 or 6
Yes.
PRs.
Yeah, they did really, really well. Sullivan ran a big, almost 2 full minute PR. Kyle Cody had a PR. Caleb Beard had a PR. Yeah, they did really well.
Now you've got a week off before state. You got the ACDC coming up.
Well, we ran that yesterday.
That was okay.
Yep.
That was yesterday.
So we do have these 2 weeks in between states. So this week,
Okay.
They run the ACDC meet yesterday, and it's just a 4K race. Everyone just runs a 4K, and just to keep them in running form or racing form. And they did a great job yesterday. A lot of our varsity runners don't run a lot of 4Ks.
Right.
But at the 4K distance, we had 16 PRs yesterday. So yeah, they did a really nice job. Cadence won the meet yesterday
Okay.
by about 40 seconds, I believe.
Wow.
So yeah, that was really fun
That's
to
like
see.
a blowout in sports.
Yep, yeah. She crushed it. It was awesome. And then Emma Trapp was in our top 20. I believe she was 6th.
Okay.
And then Elijah placed 8th, and Simon Trapp placed 13th. So they were in top 20. They got T-shirts. That was kind of fun. So,
And
yeah.
again, that's Autumn Classic Distance Challenge.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the heavy metal.
No.
So someone to say, when I told them ACDC, they're like, oh, no, I have nothing to do with
That
with
would
the
be
heavy
fun.
metal band. And that's over in Moorhead at Johnson Park, I think,
Yep.
is where they run it. What kind of a course is that?
Yeah, it's the loop is just a 2K, and so they just run the loop twice.
Okay.
And pretty quick, pretty simple, but just get some racing. So yeah.
And now what's on horizon? Are you tapering now? Are you kind of
Yep.
tapering before you get to state?
Yep. So now we'll be kind of easing off on things a little bit, keeping some speed on their feet. But yeah, Friday will be state. We run at the girls start at 2:00. So
Okay.
yeah, hope to see some people out there cheering for us. And yeah, they're just, we talk all season that this is when we want to be running our fastest. And so, I was explaining the saying earlier this week of the hay is in the barn, and they looked at me funny. I said, well, we've worked so hard for so long.
Right.
All of the work is there. It's ready to go to support you. So now you just get to have fun and show it off.
At Parkhurst Recreational Facility or Recreation Area over in Jamestown, so it's not very far to go to,
No.
to head over there and watch the Highlanders.
No, it'll be a fun race. There'll be, obviously runners from across the state. It'll be
Right.
about 300 runners in each race.
Okay.
It's a big race. It'll be fun.
And the girls go first, boys second?
Yep.
Okay. And it's A runs in the morning, I think? or
A
the-
runs on Saturday. They split it now.
They do split it, okay.
Yep.
But 2:00 is when the girls will get started, and then the boys probably about 45 minutes
Yep.
or so after that. Hard to believe that the season is at that point now, Coach?
It is, yeah. It's been a really fun season. We've had some other things going on, like the elementary program. We've been calling it our Highliner Challenge, just doing some kind of goofy game type things, water balloon toss, a potato toss. We had a frozen T-shirt challenge this week to unthaw and put it on the fastest, stuff like that. Yep, they've been in teams and they've been acquiring points, and ACDC actually counted towards that. So they are
Okay.
excited today to hear who the winners are.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations on Cadence, as you mentioned winning that meet,
Yep.
and now the state meet next week, and we'll talk before that state meet, and appreciate you joining us, and you have yourself a week of quiet, if you will.
Yep, a little bit.
A little bit of quiet.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Coach Jessica Gregerson joining us from Highlander Cross Country, back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. again back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network, and now we're joined by members of the Valley City Highliner football team. We're going to have one joining us here in just a couple of minutes, along with Coach Smith. But we're joined by the two Jacks, Jack Leerud and Jack Dieterle. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, nice. Oh, beautiful. Love rainy days like this. Are you glad you're not playing in something like this today?
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Didn't we have that monsoon like earlier this year when we had delayed for like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Here comes Boston. Here comes our third member of our crew. But I'm kind of glad that we got these three guys because I'd like to talk defense. I know we got the defensive coordinators waiting in the wings, but defense has really been strong, at least definitely this past week. And Jack D, we got Jack L and Jack D, and I'll just point when I say Jack. Jack Dieterle. As this season got started, Jack, did you feel that this defensive line, with yourself and with Boston, you had Owen Hunt, and you had Trey McPartland, you guys are going to be a big part of the success of this defense?
Yeah, I think I kind of knew all along because we got some big guys up front. We can do some damage.
How about quickness? Do you feel you're a little quicker than you were last year?
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten quicker over the summer doing workouts and stuff.
Is that working with the strength and what does she call it? The sports performance?
Yeah, sports performance that Allie does.
What has gotten you quicker? What has been kind of the key? What has it been? Just your footwork or just strength? Why are you quicker?
I don't know. We work on we do footwork every day, do all the box jumps, all that stuff.
Okay.
Cone drill, all that, and then we work out every day too. So I feel like that kind of a little bit of both helps a lot.
Sure. Jack, how about you? Do you feel you've improved too in your speed and your quickness this year?
Yeah, just getting in football shape, just overall, but also doing workouts and lifting and all the footwork we do. Yeah, it sure helps.
Same with you, Boston. Do you feel you're a little quicker this year than you were last year?
Well, I didn't play last year, but
that's right.
sophomore year, I definitely feel like I'm a lot quicker and stronger than
Stronger
I was.
too.
Yeah.
And you grew. I mean, you throw a couple inches on the frame too. What do you like better for you two O-line or D linemen? Stopping the run or getting a sack, Jack?
Probably getting a sack.
Trying to get a sack. How about you, Boston?
I'd agree with that. There's nothing like getting a sack.
Nothing like that. And you've got about 2 or 3 this year. You've got a handful too as well. What's a key in getting a sack? The guys behind you that are keeping the route runners, or what's a big key for you, Jack?
Oh, for me, it's kind of just like for me and Boston, we're DN, so holding your end and then let Trey and Owen, they'll do their work inside. Everyone does their job. If the coverage does good, then you have more time to get to the quarterback, and then it's kind of how everyone does their job, then you could have fun and get a sack.
That kind of the same for you too, Boston?
Yeah, it seems like they're always worried about the blitzers coming in outside of us if we do a line game inside, and that's usually when the card's aligned, and then we can get a sack.
How about strip sacks and stripping the ball away? Have you gotten any? You've recovered a couple of fumbles, but haven't done the strip sack yet.
Nope.
You either at Boston, or did you get one earlier this year?
No, I haven't stripped a sack yet.
Well, now you got something to look forward to here against Northern Cass on Friday.
Yeah.
Jack, you're part of a very good linebacking core. You look at the guys you have back there with Ryer, yourself, and Caleb. What makes you three as a unit so good?
I think we all know how to do our job, and we all work together so good as a team, good communication, and overall Ryer's pretty big, Caleb's a dog too, so we just got 3 good guys back there doing their job, and yeah.
You can communicate too with the guys up front a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe tell them to do something. What kinds of things are you saying to them as a linebacker?
Well, depending on what the call is, just we already know what they're doing, so they can give us a little reminder what they're doing, but overall we just already know what they're doing, so it's just on us to know the play.
So now, with Northern Cass this week, what have you seen on film about the Jaguars?
Well, they do some reverses and stuff, so we're gonna have to do our job and stay home. Yeah, just staying home, doing our job, staying in coverage, even if QB's running out, scrambling, just doing your job.
How about you guys on the D line when you're facing a team that maybe runs an option and kind of goes wide? What's a main job for you guys?
Just do your job. When they do a triple option, you got to take care of your spot, and then let the linebackers fill, and then safeties come down to where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Take away everything.
And you kind of contain too. Is that part of your job? Because you're the DN. You're both kind of the DNs, and then Trey and Owen clog the middle. And being on the outside, is it kind of containing and making that guy see if you can get him inside, or was that kind of a key for you?
Yeah, that's what we have to do, and I'm not necessarily the best at it most of the time. So, I mean, I always try to work on it.
Well, you got one more day to work on it,
Yep.
and then hopefully next week you can put it into practice again next week.
Right.
Let's just wrapping up here. Talk about last week's win for you guys. Senior day, you know, you had your final game at Hannah Field. Just how big it was to come up with the win that you did last week. I'll start with you, Boston.
I thought it was pretty huge. It was a momentum turner for sure. It was just a whole. Everybody was excited, and it was just a good time.
And keeping your playoff hopes alive too,
Yep.
Jack, too, for you, getting that win against a good Oaks team. I mean, this wasn't a team that came in. I mean, you beat a good team. So getting that W for you as a senior, how did that feel too?
It felt good to know that you ended your career at Hannah Field with a win, the way you wanted to go out.
And continuing that hope of a playoff run
Yep.
too, Jack, is that something too that you're like, hey, we still got a chance here?
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the most fun I've ever had playing a football game, and I think overall we all played as a team really well that game, and then yeah, we still have a chance. So hopefully we can
Get
keep
that
it alive.
W tonight.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow night. Get that win tomorrow night and get yourselves in the playoffs. So guys, again, I appreciate you joining us. Congratulations. It's been, hey, you're still got a chance to get in the playoffs. That's always fun to still go into that last game of the year, and you got a chance to extend your season and doing it on the road against Northern Cass. So guys, appreciate it, and good luck here tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Boston Larson, Jack Dieterle, Jack Leroux joining us from the Highliners, and we'll be back with Coach Smith and Highliner football as we continue Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network, and now Coach Chad Smith joining us from the Highliner football team. And Chad, now that they're gone, they're out of hearing range. Just what these three seniors have done and how they've improved throughout, not from game one and all through this season.
Yeah, they're going to listen to it after they get out of here, which
Yeah, but
they are.
no, they won't. They'll go back to bed and forget about it.
The senior group's been special.
Yeah.
It's a group that I coached as freshmen, and then lost contact with them for a couple years, and then got back and be able to be their head coach this year. And they've been a special group. I'm not saying everything's been easy with them,
Right.
and they would be the first to attest to. But that's what's fun about it. They challenge me in every way, shape, and form because they've been through listening to three different voices now, and so they will challenge you when they don't think something that you said is truthful or honest or whatever. They're going to challenge you on it, and so you've got to make sure that you, as a head coach and as position coaches, are talking what we truly want to see, and then where's the proof in the pudding too. Sometimes, our defense is based a lot off of NDSU. If people didn't know, so you watch a lot of NDSU tape at the beginning of the year, and they're doing it at a top rate clip, but they don't see every formation that we see at the high school at World. So it was like, how do they trust what I'm saying is actually the key in where we're at? And they've grown and they've morphed defensively for us to continue to get better. And our challenge this last couple of weeks was, can we be better tacklers? And we tackled better against Oaks on Friday finally, and that was exciting to see. Guys tackling through the thigh boards and at the knee level instead of tackling so high like we did up against the EEK. We just didn't tackle very good against the EEK. Not saying that would change the ball game completely,
right.
but it was just one that was a glaring weakness. And I'm like, if we're gonna fix our season and want to try to push to be a playoff team, we've got to fix this right away. And to their benefit, they accepted the fact that we went live tackle drills for 4 days now in the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and they've accepted that challenge. They've gotten better, and they got excited. And then Friday night was just a lot of fun because it was a team win. It truly was. I know we talked on Toast and Jam the other day. It was a team deal. I still can't go and find who the defensive player of the game was because it was a contribution by everyone. I could go back to each position and tell you a play that they made in the game that was a big play for everyone. So it was awesome.
Young and old. I mean, you have the young Ty Cordy, who I think is a sophomore.
Yeah.
A big pass breakup in the end zone.
Yeah, and Chase Coughlin, Ty and Chase have played that role over there, playing back and forth for most of the year, and they've done a really good job of doing it together. Chase has come up to me and goes, "Coach, what I got to continue to work on, and how do I get that starting position?" I said, "You're right there. Like, just trust the process." I'm like, and I don't want to tell him, I'm like, "Hey, not a big deal, but I'm not taking Derek Shape off the field, but you're right there. And understand when Derek graduates next year, your role changes next year. Right now, you're a sophomore. And sometimes that's the hardest thing for the kids to understand is what is your role required for right now. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Trey McPartland plays, a 3 technique for us. If he was at the college level as a D lineman, he's probably playing a defensive end more than what he is. And he's probably not a tackle. He's probably a guard at the college. What does your team right now need, and how do you help those roles, right? Everyone's figured out how to get those roles for us and continue to grow, and that's what's been fun to see as we've matured with this season, right? Like a Jackson Thornton. His role changed game 1, and he's done a phenomenal job of being a player, leader, coach for us, basically. And that's what I'm excited as guys have started to understand their roles a little bit more and stepping up. Amari Rodensberg knew his role was, snapping and stuff for us, and then Corbin Powell goes down in injury. He'd been practicing all year about kicking a little bit, and he's stepped up and he had to have a big punt for us in the game and had to take over kicking responsibilities, and they've been great. Kickoff return they haven't ran a kickoff return back for a touchdown. His kicks may not look like NFL's kickoffs, but that's okay. As long as we get it down the field and we can cover it, we're okay, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Now we got Northern Cass, so this is a team that do they run a triple option type?
They run a little bit. They run a little bit of triple. I went back and watched it again. Now they'll run elements of it, like they bring a pitch option with it. They don't get to the pitch a ton now, and I'm going to say that, and Tyler's going to get it all leveled out, and they're going to get to the pitch option because I've said it a couple times this week. So, and Tyler's probably watching all of it. So
no,
we're good. And if we don't know, that's Tyler Ukestead. He was a VCSU alum. I was his position coach for a couple years. Great kid. Love the fact that we get an opportunity to play and battle for a playoff spot. But they have some elements, some triple option stuff. But they'll get into trips, they'll get into doubles, they'll get into some formations that we haven't seen in a couple weeks. Which is exciting for us because now I think we can be a little bit more multiple defensively, play a little bit more games up front if we need to. It allows me to be able to bring a blitz from a different area that I haven't brought in a little bit because iPro just gives you that and you have to stay locked in the box. So I'm excited about that. Defensively they play an under front, but then they'll sometimes play a 50 fronts, 5 down linemen with a 0 nose, and they do a really good job of locking down the middle. They did a very, very good job of shutting down the run game against EEK last week. Right. And we're right in that game almost all the way through the end. They had a couple unfortunate special teams plays that hurt them in their game. So that's a factor that we've talked about is we've got to do something in the special teams game to be able to extend drives and or change field positions and or change the ball, who has the ball at the time. So excited about the challenge. I've told our guys this week, we're in the playoffs. This is a playoff game.
Right. Yep.
You can say it's not, titled a playoff game, but losers going home, winners continuing to play.
Right.
So we're in the playoffs, and it's do or die right now, and I think we've had a good week of practice. The energy was really high on Monday. We had the JV game on Tuesday. I thought those guys played their butts off in Tuesday. That was probably the best JV game I've seen them play all year. And I challenged those young guys. I was like, I don't care what the scoreboard is at the JV level. I just want to see you guys do the things of staying fundamentally sound, punt, kicking game, tackling, and doing all the things that we need to do to play sound football and see the growth that you guys had from the beginning of the year. And I thought they did that, and it was a really good job. They had an opportunity to on a 4th down and sent a field pressure and missed a tackle. It is what it is. But I told him, told Hunter, I'm like, you'll make that play on Friday. Yep. Because now you had the opportunity of knowing the angle of where you need to take it at, and I was like, if you get that opportunity on Friday, you're going to make it now. Yep. So the continued growth is imperative for those guys, and the continued growth for Highliner football in general, right? 8th grade has just ended. Thunder ended the other week, and it was talking to those guys already. I've already met with the 8th graders that are incoming to be freshmen. They all said they want to play football again, and that was the cry that we talked about when I got hired a year ago. It was like, how do we get the younger generations excited about Highliner football? And it starts right now, right? Yeah. We can all say we can talk about it, but you got to have actions about what your words are saying. So I'm excited about where the future goes. But like you said, we've got to worry about Friday night and hopefully get an opportunity to win Friday night and get ourselves in the playoffs and see where we're going. I'm not going to talk about going in the future, right? It's
Right.
Thursday. We got to focus on today's good practice, our Thursday sharpen the sword, and then we got to be able to tackle the ball. We got to be able to move the chains offensively, and we got to make a change in field position on the special teams level, and I think we'll have a good opportunity.
A lot of improvement, last week, great game, okay, but now you got to build off that, right?
Yeah.
And take what you did well there, maybe do it a little bit better, taking it into tomorrow.
Yeah, I think as we've gotten later in the season, I've gone back and I went and reviewed the playbook with the guys again. Like, hey, now that you guys have ran this for a while, let's go back and review the rules because now you guys are understanding and morphing a little bit into some stuff.
Right.
And they'll do something, they're like, oh, I don't know if I was supposed to do. I'm like, that's 100% what you're supposed to do. Why don't you feel like that's not what you're supposed to do? And they're like, well, it's that easy? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, and that was part of the rules at the beginning of the year. Like, if we're in what we call Bronco coverage, you can swap an inside-out release by the wide receiver 1 and 2. Yes, that's part of the rules. It was at the beginning of the year, you guys weren't handling it very well because you were so freaked out on where you needed to be. But now you're understanding, okay, we get this inside-outside swap. Okay, now the corner can stay outside, this linebacker can stay inside, and we don't have to bump into each other, and we can just pass those things off.
Right.
So that's the exciting part of it, and that's the exciting part of continuing to go forward is if you get a system-orientated type defense and offense, then you can continue to grow on those things, and all of a sudden things do become much easier inside of it. Now you can do checks, and you can do some different things as well and get better at what the scheme looks like, and now you hold a cover 2 shell when you're all of a sudden you're blitzing from the boundary, you're blitzing from the field, and it looks like 2, and all of a sudden the DNs are pinching. I mean, you can start creating chaos.
Right.
We hadn't been able to create a lot of chaos up until the last couple of weeks, and part of it was we haven't tackled well, and part of it was they just didn't trust what their eyes are telling them, or they didn't trust where they need to be pre-snap aligned.
Right.
Pre-snap alignment's a big deal defensively. Tells you everything of what's going on quarterback-wise, right? You see 2 high safeties right on the middle of the hash, and they don't move until right about pre-snap. I mean, all of a sudden that changes reads, that changes who's open, that's changes a lot of things too. And we don't play a lot of zone per se. We play a lot of matchup zone. So the first 5 yards, you got to pass things off, and then you match up afterwards. So that presents some different things at the high school level because most everyone plays zone or they just play straight up man.
Right.
So matchup zone's a little bit different, and it's tough to teach kids matchup zone because you gotta let things pass. You gotta
Okay.
let them almost develop, and then you'll lock on it late. And if you don't have an understanding of what it is, you can get burned, right? Because if an insider route comes and an outside route pulls, and you ran with the inside route, oh yeah, it's scary at times. So we've got to be able to do the, communicate.
Right.
You got to communicate, and sometimes they don't want to communicate, and that's where you get in trouble, right? If you're not saying, hey, in and in, passing it off, then we're in trouble.
Right.
So, but they've done a better job of doing that over the last, couple weeks, and it was really fun to see it against Oaks, and I think the tipping point was Amari's punt, and then we go 3 and out,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it was like a wave just happened, and it crashed, and all of a sudden the confidence, the flow showed up, and then practice on Monday had the same kind of juice, and so we're excited about that. So
Final question about what would it mean not for you, but as a program? You get that win tomorrow. You're going to play the next week. What would it mean for this program to move on to the next level?
Well, they always talk about, are you playing your best football at the end of the season?
Right.
And I feel like that's what we're kind of doing right now is we're playing our best football at the end of the season, which is a good sign for a coaching staff to know that our kids are trusting the program, trusting the process. We've become better tacklers. We're running the ball better. It sucks losing Corbin Powell. Let's not be quite honest, right?
Yeah.
And he's clear to play Friday, so we're going to have to get him in there. Now, he just hasn't practiced very much this week, so it's going to be I talked to him yesterday, it's probably going to be a sparingly, hey, we're in emergency situations where we get you in and keep you healthy, because I also want him for the next week. He's super important for us if we have to go to a Langdon team, and play that. But, he's healthy, so that adds a good depth back, because I was worried about the linebacker depth of where we're at. So we're excited that he's going to be able to play. But the growth and maturity continued is exciting. I think it springboard us into what next year possibly can be too. I don't want the season to end. Obviously, none of the kids do, and none of the seniors do either. But I told them after the game on Friday, I was like, you've earned and put yourself in the position now that your week or the next 3 weeks either end in tears or we're going to end in smiles and joys and cheering in the locker room. You get one or you only get 2 options anymore. You don't have the fate of knowing, season's over. No, you don't know until the final bell now, which is cool. And I think that's a lot of fun to play your senior career like that. You know what I mean? We didn't have to do anything in practice this week to say farewell, goodbye to the seniors, because you
Right.
don't know when
You don't
it's
know,
going to.
yeah.
So we're going to stay the course as is and end our season the way it should end. And whether that's continuing to move on or if it's packing our bags and coming home,
Yeah.
you know, we'll figure that out. I'm excited for our guys. And then, you know, Friday's going to be a special day. I don't need to make it a lot of public, but my dad passed away in April, and tomorrow's his birthday. So that'll be
Okay.
a lot of fun. And we'll see what happens tomorrow with that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Appreciate it.
Coach Chad Smith joining us from Highlander Football. Back with more Coaches Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back on Coach's Corner, getting ready to wrap things up for another Thursday. Again, next up for us, we're off until next Coach's Corner next Thursday. And then again on Friday, Highlander Volleyball, as they will be taking on Mayport CG. That'll be a big one on the 24th, and that'll be our next game. And boy, we're wrapping up. We just have 2 more volleyball matches left to go, and then we're going to be looking towards the winter sports season. So again, I want to thank our guests today, Cynthia Clabo from Highlander Volleyball, Jessica Gregerson from Highlander Cross Country, and Chad Smith from Highlander Football, along with Jack Dieterle, Jack Leerud, and Boston Larson. Joining us, Beckett Ness, our camera operator and technical director, and of course you, our people, our fans that join us each and every Thursday. We'll be back again next Thursday morning, 7:30, back here at the Hack. Another Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity